Financial tips for millennials. All right, today I want to share some financial tips that are geared toward millennials. But before we get into that, if we haven't met before, my name is Keith Wilson. I'm a practicing financial advisor helping folks along their financial journey. Okay, so millennials. This would be the group born between 1980 and 1996. And if we really think about that generation, millennials have really faced some financial struggles in their life. If you look at the older end of those millennials, say those in their late 30s, early 40s, look at what happened 20 years ago as they were entering the workforce. I mean, we saw a recession in 2000 to 2002. You throw in 9/11. That was a tough way to start your career. Then 8 years later, we had the Great Recession of 2008. And with the younger millennials, they were entering the workforce amid a pandemic in 2020. Also, we had this stagnant wage growth. It just made it worse. So, here's some financial tips geared toward millennials. Number one, have an emergency fund. You got to have an emergency fund. You should consider having 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved up. I'm not talking about your salary, just your living expenses, 3 to 6 months. And in my opinion, start out just having that held in savings and not invested. There are certain times where we can invest a portion of that emergency fund. I'll tell you what, I'll put that in the comments. I made a video on that. But starting out, have it in savings. You won't earn a lot of interest on it, but it would be accessible, very easily accessible in the event of an emergency. One of the biggest emergencies you're going to have would be a loss of job. So think about this. What happened during the lockdowns of the pandemic? So you're going to need to have some cash to carry you through. You don't want to rely on a credit card to do that. And a good way to start putting money away in your emergency fund would be to automate the process. Have a separate account from your checking account. Set it up online to have that money deducted every month from your checking to your savings. And just start small, and if you have to, and just work your way up. But once you automate this, you really won't notice a change, and it will become a habit. So another thing you should be looking at financially is really attack your debt. Student loan debt, all-time high right now, and is really weighing folks down. But also, credit card debt is another issue. If you have several credit cards with balances, consider tackling the lowest balance first. Put everything you can towards that lowest balance card and pay the minimums on the other ones, all right? Now, this is called the snowball effect. This could get that lower balance credit card paid off quickly, and what it's going to do is going to give you a sense of accomplishment, and you would be more encouraged to stick with the plan. Then once that one's paid off, move on to the next lowest balance card and do the same thing. So think about this. If you're able to pay $500 a month towards your debt, once that is paid off, you can then turn around and start investing that $500 a month to create passive income. Now, speaking of investing, now is the time to get serious about your retirement plan. If you have a 401k plan at work, start making those contributions. According to Fidelity, you should have saved up the equivalent of your annual salary by age 30 and 3 times your salary by age 40. Now, here's the thing about 401ks. Most companies offer what is called a matching contribution, usually around 4% of your salary. So contribute at least enough to get that company matched because, hey, that's free money and can help you reach your goals quicker. A good rule of thumb is you should strive to save 15% of your salary in retirement. Then consider, if your company offers one, putting money in the Roth 401k. If not, split the amount you can contribute between the 401k and an outside Roth IRA. Now, these are just a few tips to help you along your personal finance journey. I think it's really a shame that our school system is not doing a better job of teaching financial literacy. You may want to consider working with an advisor, someone you can trust that can put together a financial plan that addresses your particular situation.